Today we're going to make a really simple rock painting with 3 beautiful holiday gifts. I'm starting out by using my soapstone pencil from Happy Dotting Company to line out 3 boxes. So I've got a short fat one, a tall skinny one, and kind of a medium sized one at the end. Then I'm going to take some Liquitex gesso to give a base coat because this is a darker rock and I want to make sure we get nice solid coverage. You could also use white paint, white chalk paint, white matte paint. Any of those things will work to help you get a base coat. I'm going to use these 3 really warm colors, kind of a berry, a green, and a brown, and then I'm going to add some Liquitex gold metallic medium to these. This isn't going to do a whole lot, but it's going to add a very, very slight shimmer to them, and I'm going to use gold as an accent on these, so I just thought it would be fun to kind of add a little bit of shimmer. It is very, very slight, but you just mix this in with your paints, or you can paint it over the top of your paints to give kind of a gold shimmer as well. Now to start out with each of my boxes, I'm going to take a fine line paintbrush and I'm going to do the outline just so that I can make sure I have nice crisp sides on each one of the gifts, and since they're right up against each other, I want to make sure those lines are nice and straight where the boxes begin and end. And then I'm just going to take a square paintbrush and fill them in. The gold shimmer that I added to these paints kind of thinned them out a little bit, so I'm definitely going to have to do multiple coats to make sure I have full coverage, but this is just a simple filling in of the gifts. Using that fine line paintbrush also allows you to kind of clean up any of the lines if when you did the gesso it's, not as straight as you wanted, or maybe you missed a spot with the gesso. That's okay too, but this allows you to kind of crisp up the lines on those gifts. Now I'm going to come back through and give a second, possibly third coat to these just to make sure I have nice solid colors. I love how warm and cozy these colors are. They're kind of dark and sultry, which maybe isn't so holiday-ish, but I think it is that kind of warm by the fire feel. Now we're going to try out some paint markers that I've had for a while and haven't tried. They're chrome paint markers and they're from J. Diction, which is one of my UV resin brands. And I'm going to use the gold paint pen here. I got these to try because they look like they have next level shine. So to prime the pen, we're going to shake it well, then we're going to burp it, and then we're going to depress the tip until we see that color starting to come down the nib, and then you're ready to paint. I'm going to use my soapstone pencil again just to give myself some guides for the ribbon I'm going to put on these gifts, because I'm going to have them different thicknesses and different placements on the different gifts. One of the things that was very obvious immediately was that the paint kind of flows out of these a little more freely than it does with a Posca or a Thule Art paint pen. So I had to be careful not to put too much and make it runny, but it's also got kind of that slanted tip, so I'm able to use the pointy tip of it to either make thin lines or to kind of even out any weirdness with the thicker lines. So it kind of works. It reminded me of a highlighter tip. So I used it for the thick lines like this, but then you could use the tip of it to kind of straighten out the lines. But the chromey shine of this is pretty next level. I'm really glad I got these. I'm going to have to try out the silver and the copper in another video because I'm sure they are just as beautiful. Then I'm also just going to carefully take the marker and create some thick bows on the end gifts, and then a thin kind of stringy bow on the green gift in the middle. Now I'm going to take a Posca PC1MR paint pen. I love the tip of these for writing because I was thinking, Christmas can get a little bit materialistic. So I thought, what are gifts that you can't actually wrap up that are important this time of the year? And so I thought of peace, love, and joy. Those 3 words came into my mind. So I wanted to write that And I'm doing the faux calligraphy by thickening up the downstrokes of my writing, and I just thought that would be a nice little addition, and I'm adding some gold dots in between to tie the design together. Now I'm going to take my Sakura Pigma brush pen. This is a fine line brush pen that has a kind of bendable tip, and I'm just going to give a quick light imperfect outline to all the gifts and the ribbon, just so that they can have a little bit of contrast, especially the bows. I felt like the big fat bows needed a little bit of detail just to make them stand out a little bit better. And I'm saying imperfect because this pen is really hard to use in a perfect way because it's a brush tip. So I just kind of wanted to give that kind of sketchy look. And there you have it, 3 gifts that I wish for you this holiday season. Thanks so much for stopping by to watch, and I'll see you next time. Take care.